Weltwoche Daily. Ich begrüße Sie ganz herzlich bei meinen sehr verehrten Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauern. Hier bin ich jetzt mit der Anwältin von Julian Assange, Mrs. Robinson. How do you evaluate, or how do you... Was that today? We have no decision yet. No, the judges postponed the decision. Is that a good day or a bad day in the process of Julian Assange?
It's common in a complicated hearing. We've just had a 2 days hearing of complicated arguments for judges to reserve their decision, to go away and give it consideration, and to come back to deliver a written reasoned judgment. So there's nothing to be read into the fact they've reserved their decision. They've asked for further written submissions from both parties, which are due on the 4th of March. So we're not going to get a decision any time before the 4th of March. It'll be sometime after then.
Mm-hmm. Are you optimistic? What makes you optimistic?
I think the judges were very engaged on the Article 10 free speech arguments. There were a lot of questions asked of the US government on their case. I don't think that we heard a very compelling case from the US government, but it remains to be seen what the judges will do with it. So we'll just have to wait and see.
What would you say? Well, what are the weak parts of the US case?
Well, it's obvious from the position put over the course of today that they are criminalising public interest journalism, and that their prosecutorial theory is on that basis. They couldn't answer questions from the court about whether Julian would in fact be entitled to First Amendment protections once in the United States, which is a fundamental question before this court. They could not answer that. They could not answer the implications of their arguments for free speech protections in this country. They could not answer the concern that we have about whether Julian could face additional charges once returned to the United States, which would attract the death penalty. They had no answers for this. And I think that will give the court grounds to grant permission to appeal, but we have to wait and see what happens.
What you're talking about, it's not sure if Julian Assange would survive this transfer to the US. How unlawful, in your point of view, would that be if Julian Assange would be sent to the US?
Well, the accepted medical evidence is that the oppressive prison conditions he would face, together with his mental health picture, the depressive illness he suffers, his autism diagnosis, that he would be caused to commit suicide if he was extradited to the United States. That is the accepted medical evidence. The fact that the courts of this country accepted a conditional assurance from the US on that, assurances that aren't worth the paper they're written on, is incredibly worrying, and that will be a ground for appeal that we will take to the European Court of Human Rights if we are required to make that application. So,
in this whole process, it's an Odyssey. When do you think will there be a final decision in the case of Julian Assange?
It's impossible to say. So we'll have to wait and see what this court does, and then obviously we've got an application to the European Court of Human Rights ready to go if we're unsuccessful here. So there's still a lot of legal hurdles in the way before he'll be extradited, or we hope there will be.
Good luck, and thank you very much, Mrs. Robinson. Thank you.